Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from around the world, talking with makers from around the world. Here's Jamie Page, Steve Twidell, Chris Cute, and now your host, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is. I don't even know what time it is because the clocks have all changed. And wherever you're listening, joined with me, as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
How you doing?
And Mr. Jamie Page.
Hello.
Mr. Steve Twidell.
All right.
And this evening's special guest, talking all things Makers Central 2019, Nick Zammeti. How you doing, Nick?
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. We will be right back with you in just, you know how it works. You've been on before.
Yeah.
We'll do the shout outs, etc. And then we want to know all about hashtag MC 2019. So very quickly, and I mean very quickly this week, shout outs go to Jim Dockrell and Harneal Media. Do we have anyone over on Instagram and Facebook, Jamie? Or
we had someone on Instagram wanting to twerk at us, but I deleted that comment.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Jamie. Appreciate it.
What a strange world in which we live. So,
Fantastic.
This evening's podcast, as always, is brought to you in part by our good friends over at Yorkshire Grit, Chad from Mancrafting, Pam from Highland Boxes, and Steve Harneal as well. If you want to find out more about all our sponsors, then head over to our website, makersinternational.com/sponsors. And Jamie's got all the information put up there on the website because he actually does a good job with that. So well done, Jamie.
Yeah, I including getting the website right. It's makersinternationalpodcast.com.
Well, there you go. I know you just testing. That's it. It was just a test. I will amend that later. Right.
Picky.
Chris, do we have any random list of questions?
Yes, we do. The first of which just came to mind. Are we going to be offering online twerking lessons? But the answer is probably no. But no, honestly, seriously, when setting up to do the show and actually promoting it and things of that nature, people did have a lot of the same question to ask, and it was regarding Maker Central. So, why not kick it off right with a question about that? People want to know, basically, and I guess they're asking you, Nick, more than they are us. Is there an official hotel for Maker Central 2019? Or I guess the secondary question to that, if there isn't, is where is everybody planning on staying for the event next year? So, Nick, do you have anything worked up with a hotel, or is it just basically the way it was last year, pretty much?
Yeah, last year we contacted the hotels and none of them wanted to give us any discount apart from the Hilton. And the Hilton offered a discount for us. But this year they have not offered us any discount. But nevertheless, everyone is still kind of like booking at the Hilton. We're staying at the Hilton. I know a lot of other makers have already booked to stay at the Hilton. It was a really good kind of congregating kind of area. It was because it was laid out quite well. The bar was in the middle, and obviously we were all there, so it was quite a good place to sort of hang out and get together, really. So, but there is loads of other hotels on site, and we have found that by searching on Booking.com, which is actually on our website, you can actually get quite a good cheap deal on using that website anyway, rather than phoning the hotel direct. If you use the Booking.com link that's on the website under useful info, you can reserve your hotel room. Obviously, you don't have to pay for anything at the moment. When you reserve it, you're just reserving the room, really. But it's best to get in, because I think Hilton last year were pretty much, well, I think they were sold out, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Worth reserving the room. We've already done it, and so have other people, really.
Yeah, I've booked mine at the Hilton again this year as well already. What about you guys? Jamie, Steve, Richard, have you guys booked hotel yet, or are you kind of leaving?
I've not booked it, but I will be staying at the hotel. I'm sorting it out with Jake Thompson very soon.
It all depends on how many extra barrels of Guinness they bring in, because they didn't have enough last time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was you and Heath.
Well, we're going to take the dandy again, I think, and stay off site like we did this year. So
Well, that's fine.
Oh.
I mean, you were there for most of the after the show parties that were going on anyway, Richard. You just kind of went back to your site and spent the night there, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just a somewhere to lay your head at the end of the day, isn't it? And it's just up the road, so it's all good.
Awesome. So there you go. The answer is most people are staying at the Hilton, but there are several hotels in the area to choose from. So if that was your question, there's your answer.
Do you think they're not offering the discount this year because of certain sticker incidents in the bar on the Saturday night?
Don't know what you're talking about, Richard.
Possible, isn't it? Yeah.
It's funny because my sticker ended up the highest, and I can't climb.
I had nothing to do with that, honest governor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
House hack shack.
Steve Shoulders.
Oh God.
Dear, oh dear. That kind of sets the tone for the whole event, really, because I said pretty much straight afterwards, it was as much about the hanging out in the bar and the lobby area of the Hilton after the doors closed in the hall as it was about everything that was going on in the hall. It was so much more than just however many hours of the actual exhibition time, and all about the social as well.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, I agree with you, Richard. It is more about the people, but I actually met more people at the event than I did at the hotel. I mean, I met a lot of people at the hotel just because there were so many of us staying there, but I met so many people in such a rapid succession on both days just because you're walking by people and you're going, oh, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. And you had a chance to stop and talk for a second and move on. So it works both ways. I mean, the event and also the afterwards was a great time. So, yeah, I'm doing it again.
It sort of felt like there were 6,000 people in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of numbers are you? I'm going to assume here, Nick, that you're going to go for bigger and better this or next year. So what kind of milestones, target numbers are you sort of aiming for in 2019?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we'll be obviously be happy with any number really, but obviously the more people that can come, the better. Yeah, we had around sort of just over 6,500 people come through the door last time, so which was pretty crazy. Yeah, if we get that again, brilliant. But obviously we do have a bigger hall. We have a lot more going on, so we've taken on a bigger hall because obviously we want to try and add a bit more kind of like value to everything. So by having more demos and more things to kind of like see there and do and stuff like that. So and that just allows us to sort of get more people in and squeeze more people in. So ideally, the 8,000, 9,000 maybe, but there is a limit obviously because the NEC have set rules where because of health and safety, you can't squeeze everyone in there, everyone gets squashed. So they do they're only allowing a certain number of people in. So I suppose there's going to be a maximum. I think it's I know last year was about 4,000 or 3,500 a day, but obviously they count people come in, people come out, sort of thing. So they have the little clicker thing going in and out. So it's probably going to be about 4,500. So we can only really have around about that, I suppose, but I haven't actually got the exact number yet. But it's a much bigger hall, so it's quite cool.
Good stuff. And presumably a lot of the sort of the companies that were supporting last year, they've come in as well and said we want to be part of the following year. Yeah, we've had great support again this year for it, because we weren't really going to run it again this year or next year. I keep getting that mixed up. But obviously there was so many people wanted it again. I mean, so we decided to run it again, really, and everyone's been pretty supportive of it. We've obviously got Record Power back in and Triton as main sponsors, which is brilliant for us. That really helps draw the crowd and helps us do more things for the show. So that's brilliant. And they've been really supportive of the show, which is great. Dremel are around as well. They were obviously main sponsors last year, but they're not main sponsors this year, but they're coming. They are a sponsor, but they're also coming as well. And Vectric as well have been really supportive to us. I mean, they've been a huge help. They were last year, and this year they're sponsoring the stage. So that's really cool to have them, backing us as well. So yeah, we've had, lots of people really just help us out. And yeah, most of the companies that came last year are already
kind of booked or booking as such. You probably started to see the map sort of slowly fill up. It's a much bigger map, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's coming together. Certainly is coming together, but it's not easy.
But you've got a rather gargantuan task on your hands. I don't envy you one little bit, if I'm honest. And I guess you've got a lot resting on your shoulders, because there's always going to be people that, you know, whatever it is you organise, there's always going to be somebody that goes, oh, well, it wasn't as good as last year, or oh, they should have done this and they should have done that, and even those niggly little things that actually are just whatever, nothing. It kind of, everyone looks at you. You know, the fact that the traffic was a nightmare is your fault, sort of thing. So,
yeah.
Oh, but yes, but last year was brilliant. I mean, I think even Nick mentioned, I think after the show was over with, when we were in the lobby, I think when we were attempting to do our broadcast, to be honest with you, we had Nick on, and Nick said, you know, there were some things that he noticed that could be changed, and that, you know, this year they're going to be addressed. And I guess one of them was the stage area. I think, Nick, that you had mentioned that you wanted to have a bigger stage, things of that nature. And actually, Simon Harmon out in the chat asked if was there going to be more than one stage, or are you just having a larger one this year, or how are you dealing with that issue?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we never really expected kind of that many people to crowd around the people like Jimmy and stuff. And obviously bringing Jimmy Geresta along is huge, you know. But even he said he's never seen anything kind of like that before. I was at Maker Faire in New York a couple of months ago, or a month ago, you know, and all that. He had people kind of like coming up to him, but it was nothing like that he's seen before at Maker Central. I mean, there were queues for him all weekend, you know, and the crowd he pulled on stage, you know, was just unbelievable. We'd never even kind of like imagined that there was going to be. We got all these seats out, and we thought, yeah, that's, you know, more than enough seats. But there was, I mean, you saw the crowd. It was crazy. And the same when, you know, a lot of the others got up on stage. The crowd, it was huge. So that's why we kind of stumbled across the problem where people couldn't hear. So yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a disappointment for us, for me, you know, because I never really kind of expected that to happen. So I never really took precautions for that event. So yeah, so that said, that was one of the things that a few people mentioned, you know, great, but stage couldn't hear nothing, couldn't see nothing. So yeah, we've got a much bigger stage, and we have now got, so last year we had kind of 2 TVs and 2 speakers and 2 tech guys. So this year we've got 4 TVs. We're going to have 2 bigger ones at the front, 2 further ones in the middle, and we've got 6 speakers. So we've got 2 at the front, 2 in the middle, 2 at the back. So everyone should be able to hear. But then again, it's a bigger stage. But if more people come and more people crowd around it and all the seats go, we're going to have the same situation again. You can't carry on putting speakers down and down and down. You just can't.
No, it is what it is. At a certain point, it's just got to be what it ends up being.
Yeah.
And and I didn't, honestly, Nick, I watched a lot of the demos that happened last year on the stage. I watched Jimmy's, and I watched a couple of the other ones too. I didn't have a problem, so I don't know. I'm not quite sure what people were talking about when they were referencing that, but I thought it was handled pretty well last year. So I mean, I completely
get it. You know, I mean, if you're at the back there, then you know it was quite tough to see, and also the stage as well wasn't raised high enough. So again, we're going to raise the stage higher as well, so that will again help people see from the back. So we've taken precautions. We weren't going to have a second stage, but we've had so many people want to come and do a talk or Q&A or a demo, which is brilliant for us. I mean, absolutely fantastic. But we've been overwhelmed with it, and we've had a lot of people kind of say, "Oh, can we do a talk?" And we've been like, "Oh, I'm not sure. We'll see if we can fit you in," and sort of turning people away as such, but saying, "Look, we'll just get back to you." But we've almost filled up the main stage. So we have just recently, as of from last week, decided to open up a second stage. But it will just be more of a kind of a Q&A stage, probably be no demos on there. But then at least that allows for people to come in. So I know Laura Camp has just said that she's coming, which is brilliant. And she wants to get up on stage. We've got Matt, Elsa, and Sean. Everly, is it Everly? Everly, isn't it?
Yeah.
These guys, they really want to come up on stage, and they did speak to me about it earlier on. So I haven't actually told them yet. So if you're listening, we've got your slot on stage. So we're going to get them on stage as well. But there's so many other people that want to come on. So that will add value. But also we've had to mix it in with because last year we had like literally we crammed everybody in. So we had like and the poor chap that was doing the moderation. He was like 10. We had 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, 11:30. He didn't have a break. So we decided to have half an hour break in between each slot now, which obviously means there's less people on the main stage each day. But then what we've then done is open up the other stage, and we've now got people on the slot that's free on this stage going on this stage. So if you want
well, that works.
Yeah, so you'll have to kind of like just like you finish that one and then go to the next stage and then finish that one, come to the next if you want to see the whole everything. But so that's quite cool. I think it's going to be more than one stage now, so there's more things happening and more demos. We've definitely got loads more things going on there, which is going to be quite cool. Loads more things to see. Colin obviously first coming, which is brilliant. Again, he was going to come this year, but couldn't make it because we sort of he had other commitments. But this year we managed to get him for next year, so that's good news. And he's going to bring loads of his inventions and stuff like that, and he's going to be on stage as well, so that's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, good.
And I understand the ticket prices have increased marginally. I stress the marginally. They're a little bit more, but it's kind of negligible. Is it like a couple of quid a day or something?
Yeah. It's a couple of £1 more. And obviously, we don't really want to try not to raise the price of the tickets. But last year was quite a struggle to put it on. And I wanted to put it on again this year. And obviously, we're funding. I'm sort of funding the show. Out of some sort of savings that I've got. So it's just little old me, really. It's not like a big business. It's not really a company, but we've had to open it up as a company for legal reasons, but and health and safety reasons and things like that for NEC. But really, it's not really a business. And obviously, we wanted to try to do more things, and without the funding, it's really difficult. So the sponsors help out. Obviously, that's what that's there for. But it's not a money-making thing for us. It never was, never was intended to be anything like that. It just really helps us put on the show. I mean, hiring out NEC Hall just as an empty space is 60 grand. So I mean, it's like it's and then you've got to put everything else in it, and so I mean, we're not really looking to cover costs or make money. But if we do, great. If we can cover the cost, fantastic. That's brilliant. But if we don't, then well, that's not really my concern. My more concern is to have a great show, to have lots of people there and have a really good time, get makers together, get the young makers involved in making. That's if that happens, then happy days. My money's well spent, really.
Sure. So effectively, it's the same price as last year, and have one less cup of coffee on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, we've added much more value to it anyway. I mean, it is. As I say, it's 22 quid, but so it's a couple of £1 more, but we've added much more value. We've added loads more things going on there. There's loads of demos happening. There's loads of things happening. We're giving away a lot of stuff when we get there as well. We're trying to chuck in as much as we can, like little gifts, like these little things. Would be in the bags and stuff, and other things we're trying to give away. To make it really, worth like coming along. Because obviously I know that there's cost in coming as well, and petrol and parking and bits and pieces. So we're trying to make it a real fun packed family weekend and make it worth your while, spending that money like, it's worth 22 quid because we're going to get this, we get that, we get to see them, we get to do this, we get to involve in it. And Record Power be doing the making a pen thing again, and they do all that, free of charge, so there's so many things like that are happening that people are coming and doing things free. They're not charging for it, and they're giving away stuff that you can get involved in and make, and you can take it home with you and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be great value completely, but it's just trying to help us do the show.
You've got a lot of things going on this year that weren't going on last year as well. To add to that, I mean, obviously you've got Colin coming, but I'm over on your website. And by the way, the website, if you want to check this out, if you haven't already, is makerscentral.co.uk. If you go to the things to see and do portion of the webpage, that's awesome. You got Podpad Studios in there. You've got a Crusade Rocketry, which is going to be awesome. I mean, these are people that weren't there last year. Am I right, Nick?
Yeah, PodPad Solutions were there with their they had a Batmobile there, but this year we've got them to bring all their droids along. So they've got loads of droids that they made themselves, and again, this is quite relevant because, I say, they've made these themselves from scratch, So I thought it was really quite kind of relevant to the show because they're obviously makers and things, and these are cool things to see, So they're bringing all their droids, and again, we've something like that. We obviously pay for them to come, and because they've got to come down, that's what their living is, So we have to pay for them to be there, and the same for like the ice sculptures and things like that. We pay for those people to be there because we want to add value to you coming. So all those demos, we've got the Crusaders guys. They were in the World Guinness Book of Records, I think, with their rocket thing that they made. So that's going to be quite cool to see. I don't think they're bringing the rocket down, but all these things are going to be really quite smart to see. And there's many of those. There's loads of things of that going on.
Yeah, I'm looking at you've got the Great British Make Off happening there. There's a forge area that's going to be there. There's a thing. There's a portion that I know that we're going to be a part of as far as a podcast. Each of us as makers is the Make with Makers section. That's going to be a dedicated section that people can get in a booth or something, hands on, and make stuff with us and stuff. So it's going to be awesome. I mean, there's a lot of new things happening this year that didn't go on last year.
Yeah, the forge as well. That's quite a big thing because, again, we want to try to mix it up and add loads of things like that in. So there's a forge there, and again, you can go and make your own nail, which is pretty cool. So again, all this stuff is free. So we cover the costs for those things for the people coming, and that's within your 22 quid. So. Everything like that you'll see there. Obviously the only thing that's not free is obviously stuff that you want to buy, really. So but everything else there when you get in the show is free for you to kind of come and see and do and stuff like that. And there's loads of people there giving away things like that, doing demos like that, like the forge and the pen turning. And they had a hockey puck guy there last year, came all the way down from Canada just to come down and get your hockey puck signed, and he was giving them away. Was it? He just came all the way down from Canada to give away hockey pucks. I mean, you know what I mean? But I mean, there's some really, really great people out there. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy.
That was a Canadian ambassador to the UK. Is who that was.
Brilliant. I mean, we've had this guy that's made us loads of these toys. If you watched one of my videos on my channel, he's made all these little baby toys. And he said he gave them to me. He said just give them out to all the kids. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, he said they must have take him ages to make them. There's about 60 odd sort of little toys there that he's made out of wood. So we're going to be giving those out, as and when we see a little kid that wants one of them. So it's brilliant, and we've got so much support like that. But obviously, we're obviously desperate to get more people in, and whatever you guys can provide. Help or shout outs or mentions, or if you've got anything that you can make to add to the prize draw, that goes to charity and things like that, which is really cool. So yeah, anything like that. And we had loads of support last year for that, the draw. I mean, people were giving us stuff left, right and centre to give away on the draw. So, and this year's draw is going to be done at the show, whereas last year we did it off site, and that got a little bit complex actually, doing it sort of like after the show. So we thought we'd just do it on the Saturday. So we've actually got a Saturday draw with stuff in it for a Saturday, and we'll do it on stage. I think the Fools for Tools guys are going to be doing that actually, giving that away. And then there's a Sunday draw, and again we'll have to get somebody to kind of like host that as well. I was going to do it, but I'm a bit shy.
Yeah, right.
I want to make a dining room table to give away and see Al shoot that out of his cannon.
yeah, that's quite cool.
But
if there's any makers out there that want to make anything small, small's good because it, you can bring it along and it's convenient. If somebody wins it from the States or something, they want to take it back, let us know and we'll add it to the price draw. We'll obviously link your channel and things like that, and and all the money goes to the charity as well, which is brilliant. So if you've got anything you want to make, then anything really, whether it's a coaster or a pen or whatever. It's, we need more things to add to the draw. It'd be great. So.
Well, yeah, and it gives the maker a chance to get a little bit of a spotlight when they're talking about the prizes that are being given away. So yeah, there's a win-win on all sides. I like it.
Cool.
What is the chosen charity that you've got at the moment, or have you not got one yet?
Yeah, it's the NSPCC.
Oh, nice. That's a good charity. Yeah.
For those of us who don't know, what is that?
It's a national for children, basically.
Awesome.
Cruelty to children, yeah. Protection of cruelty to children.
Yeah.
Yeah, great foundation.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great ones, I mean, but you've got to choose one. So, I think it was a really good one to have. So, that's going to be quite cool. So, anyone can add stuff to that. It's, we want more things to be added. We've already added some really cool things. Triton's put some stuff up. I think Dremel's already put some bits and pieces up there as well. So that's really cool. So, and more people are adding stuff every day. So there's a few bits on there now, but by the time we get to the show next year, it'll be loaded. That will be, so hopefully.
Yeah.
I guess the big thing to say, Nick, as well, that really wasn't just in my view wasn't pushed last year, but because I think people didn't realize was how much of a family event it's going to be and how much it was last year. As I said it in the podcast last year, I was lucky enough to be demonstrating in kind of central to the arena, as it were, and to see in the first morning families coming in and kind of the wives and the kids kind of being dragged along by Maker Dad, to come and see the show, and then by the first hour seeing the change in the wives' faces, the kids' faces, when they realized that they could actually take part in everything that was there and actually make something and bring it home with them, and it's included in the price of the ticket. That's where your £22 is worth it, because you're bringing families together and they're doing things that they wouldn't normally do, and they're enjoying it. And then you're spreading the word to a bigger community, the fact that, it's not just dad or mum that can do this, or child, because there are a lot of child makers out there as well, but you can all do it and you can all have fun doing it as well. So I think to push the fact that families can come to this, it is a huge family event, I think is very important.
Yeah, and that is, the main thing, really. I mean, the main thing for me really is to get more the younger generation into making stuff, because I mean, making things is really cool. It really is. The amount of satisfaction you get from making something, whatever it is, it's absolutely awesome. I remember I used to make stuff at school. I used to bring it back, and show my mum and dad, and they're, I was like, yeah, look at this out of clay. What I mean? It was a mess, but I mean, they were like, whoa, that's awesome. And I'm like, yeah,
toilet roll construction.
Exactly, yeah. The thing is, unfortunately, this day and age, that we're in with obviously all this technology, it's really hard to try to encourage the younger generation to do the things that we used to do. And with all the iPads and things like that going on these days, that's all they want to do. But if they actually really knew how cool this was, so that's why I try to do stuff on my channel that is like for children as well, and I've got a lot of young children that watch my channel, and and I love the fact that they are inspired by that and trying to I've had loads of messages saying, oh yeah, we're going to start making stuff. I'm doing stuff with my dad and my mum, and thanks for the inspiration on making things. And I've had messages from the parents and stuff, which is really, really nice. It's quite overwhelming, it's really quite nice. And that's what I want to try and bring to the show. More people like that, more young kids getting involved into making. That is brilliant. That's awesome. That's what I want to try and do.
It's awesome. And I don't know if you've had a chance to. I don't know if you're able to look at the chat that we have going on the outside there, Nick. But we have a lot of makers that are coming to the show, many of which are featured on your website that are going to be out there. Jamie, you've been keeping tab. Who's out there?
Well, first of all, Bobby Duke wants your beard, Nick.
My beard. He already has my beard. He's touching it every time he sees
it's his own fault.
It's never going to grow if you keep cutting it off, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's out there? Mr. Jeffrey Smith. He was at the show last year, or this year, sorry. Rubo Arts, Leona Faye Wood Turning, Maggie Billett, Pam Harris from Highland Boxes, David Woodbarber. Steve, what are you doing out there?
All these people were at last year's
Chris,
show.
what are you doing out there?
I'm messing with Steve.
Simon Harmon's
Did
out
you really
there.
just say that, Chris?
Yeah, I did.
Wayne the Wood Turner, Once Upon a Bow Boutique. That's a mouthful.
We got
AH Bespoke.
come in as well.
Joe for short.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
got and Charlie. And Charlie's out there.
yeah. Charlie was out there. Yeah,
Is
go
he-
and subscribe to him. He's the big name YouTuber that's going to make a central.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Maker, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. AH Bespoke, Caroline Hines.
Awesome.
Who else is out there?
Well, welcome everybody. If anybody's got any questions for Nick regarding next year's event, by all means, throw them up there because we'd be happy to hit. I mean, you've got the man. You've got the man sitting right here, so it's time to ask the question if you have one.
Caroline Hine also wants Nick's beard.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about shaving it off. I was thinking about shaving it off the other day, but I'd have to change my logo.
Yeah.
So
now-
I'm stuck now with my beard forever. And it's just going to get grayer and grayer and grayer. It
And
did
I'm-
You could
actually
just
get off.
you could just make a resin one just to click onto your chin.
Yeah, it did do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm not doing another 19-hour scroll saw picture.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Nick, I'm sure you're open to suggestions from the chat as well to people of makers that they would like to see at the event as well. Are you?
I mean, we've got.
That you could maybe contact.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of a hassler anyway, so I mean, I'm trying to, contact as many makers as possible. We've got quite a few new makers that didn't come last year. We've got Odin. Do you know Odin Makes?
Mm-hmm.
He's come in, and the Samurai Carpenter.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
Jesse.
cool.
He's really cool, actually. I've been watching some of his videos lately.
Yeah, Jesse.
He makes some great tables and that's one of my up and coming projects actually, and I've been getting some tips from him. So he's come in. The Blackbeard. I don't think he was there last year. Was he Blackbeard Projects?
He was there last year. Yep.
Oh, would he?
He was.
Oh, okay,
He
yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a number of new makers that are announced that they're coming, which is really fantastic. But yeah, if anyone wants to see a maker, let us know. We'll obviously try to get them over to the show, and see if they would come. But I mean, again, we've had loads of people saying that they're coming from everywhere. Bob from I Like to Make Stuff's coming back over. He's going to be on stage. Jimmy DeResta, obviously, he's coming back over, which is great. Great news. Carl Jacobson will be there this year as well, which is really good. And obviously, unfortunately, couldn't make it last year. But he said he's coming. Easy Wood Tools are coming, and they're going to be doing demos. So yeah, there's loads of things going on. But yeah, anyone else you want to see, just let us know. Email us. You can email us at info@makerscentral.co.uk.
There you go. There you go. Don't forget your own website there, Nick. I believe, I believe also Izzy Swan is coming back over. And I don't know if the guys from the I Said Too Much podcast, if they're coming over with him or not. But so I know that he was unable to make it last year, but he's going to try to clear customs this year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did chat with Izzy a few months back, and he did say he was going to make it this year. I haven't spoken to him, in the last sort of few months, so I probably should sort of catch up with him because I know he's got a lot of things going on and he's a very busy man. But he did say he was going to come, so fingers crossed he will come. He's on the makers list as coming. We've also put on there as well this year cancellations at the bottom. Not to bring that straight after Izzy's mentioned.
No. The story behind that is quite comical, Nick. So don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So, but we, because obviously we don't want to, because there was a few people there last year that was like, oh, I thought such and such was going to be here, and he's not here. That's a bit, why didn't you tell us type thing. And we try to do as much as we can to try to get everything perfect, but nothing ever always is perfect. So what we've done is we put in the bottom section cancellations. You'll see that there is nobody in the cancellation section at the moment. But if somebody tells us that they're not going to make it for any reason whatsoever, and sometimes it's very genuine reasons why people can't make it. I know Ben Ueda was going to come last year and he really couldn't make it. He had a really big project he had to get out. and he just couldn't make it. It was just one of those things. But he's assured us he'd come this year, which is brilliant. But if anyone does, we'll put them in the cancel section so that at least you guys know that, you know, that person's not going to make it, you know. But it's out of our control completely. But we're obviously trying to make every effort to try and be transparent as much as we can for you guys. So,
yeah. But the kind of flip side of that is it's really not. Personally, I believe it's got nothing to do with who's cancelled. It's all about who is there. So, you know, to say Izzy and Carl weren't able to make it last year, well, you know, nothing against Izzy or Carl, but so what? Because there were so many other people there, and you kind of just.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's like, you know, like you're going to see Elton John, and then you sit down, and then
Elton's not there. Yeah.
So you're left with, you know, someone else.
Do you want to take this one, Chris?
Yeah, Bobby Duke just said, "I'm gonna have to cancel, Nick. I'm sorry."
He's only jealous of your beard.
Exactly that. Yeah. Bobby Duke is coming
because he wants that.
He wants that wood.
Oh,
that's why we love you, Bobby.
Guys, again in New York again last month or whatever, and again there was a lot of talk and hype about Maker Central there as well, and so they said they're all coming over, and which is quite cool.
You were basically just getting a bit of dirt, a bit of blackmail material, just in case they decide to put out. So.
Oh yeah, I've got lots of footage, especially on that old Bobby Duke.
yeah.
So it's the 11th and 12th of May, am I right?
Yeah, so Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th of May.
And what time are the doors supposed to open on the first day?
Yeah, so last year again we made another little boo-boo by opening the event from 10 till 6 on Saturday and 10 till 6 on Sunday. That was just way too late. So this year I think it's 10 till 6. Hang on, I'm just checking. It doesn't say on there. It's 10 till 6 on Saturday, but I'm pretty confident it's 10 till 4 on Sunday, because most people want to clear out by that time anyway, don't they? They want to get home and, you know, tuck up under their sheets, watch EastEnders.
Yeah.
If you say so.
If you say so. Okay.
So yeah, so yeah, 10 till 6, 10 till 4.
10 to 6, 10 till 4. That makes kind of sense. And hopefully, like I keep saying last year, but it's not. It's this year. There'll be an enormous queue outside the door. I've never seen that before at the NEC.
Did you see Bobby's footage? He actually ran the whole of the queue, and I said, go and get some. He was going to get some footage of the queue, Bobby. So he ran out. I think 15 minutes later, he came back.
Exhausted, dripping in sweat.
He had to go all the way out. It went all the way outside the NEC and back in again, past everyone else's. We were getting complaints from all the other shows saying people can't get into our show because there's queue for Make Central outside. NEC were panicking a little bit as well because the queue was huge, and he's got footage of this whole thing. We put it in one of our videos, but we had to speed it up because otherwise it was going to be the whole video of it. But yeah, it was huge. So I'm expecting it to be the same again. I reckon. People want to get there early, but it was brilliant seeing that many people come through the door, and everyone was just amazed by the fact that all these people had just turned up. It was brilliant, wasn't it? It was so nice just to get together. I didn't actually have a lot of time to see anybody. I felt really guilty because people were coming up to me saying, "Hey, how you doing, Nick?" And I was kind of in a little bit of a world of my own, really, and I was kind of.
Well, you were playing fireman. I mean, you were putting out all the fires all the time, and there seemed, you put events on like that, and there's always a fire to be put out. So you're running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
I was completely, so I kind of felt a little bit sort of guilty that I didn't really spend, more time with some of the people that wanted to meet me, which was a bit disappointing for me at the end of it. Because I also didn't really see much of the show. I was like, it was just over in a second. And we had so many people helping us out there, loads of friends and colleagues came to help us out there as well. But it was crazy. So I want to try and spend a bit more time this time, enjoying the show and enjoying the people, really. So I definitely will be doing that. I'm not going to be as involved in once the show's there. Hopefully I'll get someone else to take control of it. We've got a good team. Obviously, you guys know James and Harry and Emma, who are, make a central team, and they work really hard putting the show together. And if they're watching now, they're well done, guys. It's been it's pretty crazy to put this type of show on, and they know what it's like. They're working constantly on it every day. Every day they're working on it, and have been since we closed it, in May, and will be all the way up till next May. It's not. It takes actually a whole year to put this thing on, so it's pretty crazy.
I can quite imagine that. I mean, I've never been involved with anything anywhere near as monumental as that. I mean, Steve's got experience obviously with the UKIS and the rest of it. But I think one thing I'd like to stress to everyone listening, is it really doesn't matter how big the show is or who puts it on or who's going to be there. The success of the event is not down to just Nick and Nick's team. It is down to the people turning up.
Completely.
I was privy to a conversation in one of the forums relating to a different show in a different area, and people saying, "Oh, I'm not going this year. It's not as good as last year," and it just keeps getting smaller. And the only thing you can say in reply to that is, if you're not going to go, how is it going to get any bigger?
Or how's it going to get any better? I mean,
exactly. So it's the support of the people going, and the more people that go, the better it is, because the more people you see and the more people you interact with, and the better everyone feels about it, and then the more people want to come, and the whole thing kind of just, like you said last year, the monster is then created.
Yeah. So exactly that. So and that's what it's about. The reason why it was so big, I think, last year is because of all these makers. Is he right there on the?
No, it's Bobby Duke. He's asking. He just wanted to know if it's okay if he came back and actually attended. Yeah, Bobby, go ahead. It's Nick Mohammed. Sorry, God, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Bobby, he keeps bringing me up as well. It's if makers what made it last year, all the people that shouted it out and all the people that mentioned it on their wherever, really, emails, podcasts, YouTube channels, Instagram, Facebook posts, there was so much of that going on. That's why it was so big. Obviously, we did our part, but it wasn't certainly down to little old me and our team. It was down to you guys. So that's what we need this time. We need help. I need help anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's just from being part of a previous show. That is the main thing that you need to put across to the punters, as it were, that are coming, is that the more they promote the show, the better show it's going to be for them.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So I mean, if they get out there, share the links every time they see something pop up on Facebook, share it. Don't think you're going to absolutely kill people's feeds with this. The more promotion you get, the much better publicity you're going to get, and the much better turnout you're going to get. Because if everyone's talking about it and there's a big hype, then everyone's going to go and they're going to want to be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we need. So anyone out there that can help out promote the show for us, it is a massive, it's a huge help. It doesn't matter, if you've got a few fans or a million fans, it makes a massive difference to us, because more and more people hear about it and share it and talk about it. That's what's going to make it a big, huge thing, and that's what we want, really. So I'd be really appreciated for anyone's help, really.
Well, I think I can speak for everybody here that, and Nick, if you and your team actually need any physical help with the show, then by all means ask us. I mean, we are available. We'd be happy to. 100%. And I think if you actually ran into a situation where you could use some physical bodies to help organize things as the show's even going on, in this community, all you got to do is put out the word, and you're going to have all the help you can get. So if there's issues there, by all means ask.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, again, at the moment, really, it's at this stage, it's just more about trying to get, the awareness out there. And then as we get closer to the show, I mean, we had a few people come up on the Friday, because Friday's build day. And that's really when it starts to sort of like kick off, really, and that right up to the day before, because you can't do anything else. You just literally have to prepare yourself. You need to make sure you've got everything sorted for each demo, and everything's there. Your scripts are in place. Everyone else knows what they're doing when they get there and things. So, so we prepare all that at our offices. And that's all you can do. You can't go up to the site. We go up there now and again, but obviously, it's literally on the Friday. Then it all starts to fall into place. So, yeah, if people are around, then they're more than welcome to pop in. But obviously, we can't. NEC won't let us have a rush of people running in on Friday because it's health and safety rules, regulations, people putting up stands. You've got to be really careful. But definitely open to having some help there. We do need some help there, and we did have a few people, makers that came in early. Flew in early, came down early, and helped us out. It was great. And if that's there again, then brilliant. Yeah, we'd definitely accept it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple of questions, or a question from out in the chat from Dave the Wood Barber. He said, Nick, are you absolutely sure there is going to be no Maker Central from 2019 onwards?
Probably not. After this show, no. It's just such a huge thing to do, and again, it's not. I don't want it to be a business. It's not a business, and it was actually only going to be a one thing show at the time, but obviously because we always like to try to please everybody, there were so many people kind of like asking for it to happen again. We decided to do it again. In hindsight, probably would have or should have probably said, let's not do it next year, let's do it the year after. But we went for it, and we kind of took it and said, yeah, let's do it. But there is no plans to put it on again the following year. No. I'm not really too sure. It would be a shame to obviously kind of like not do it. I understand that, and obviously I know it's going to be disappointing for a few people, but we just physically cannot do it. Like I say, it's just me and a few of my work colleagues. We work at another company, so we're doing this kind of like on the side. And we're okay to do it whilst working for the other company, but we're also working for the other company, and we're also working for Maker Central. So it's just very difficult, and it takes up a lot of time, effort, and obviously a lot of money. So
right. And you know what? If you don't do it every year, and that's, totally understandable considering your circumstances, but if you do decide to do it again, it makes it that much more special, just because it doesn't happen every year. This is
if we decide to run it after maybe a couple of years' time, then that'd be cool. And then people would think, oh great, Maker Central's back on for 2022 or something, and that would be quite cool. So we can always just leave it. We won't close it down completely. We'll just leave it there, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, we definitely want to break after this one anyway. That's definitely for sure. And
can't say to blame you.
I know a few people were mentioning last year. It was probably drunk talk, to be honest with you. But about a Maker Central US. Is that something that could happen way down the line, or?
Yeah, maybe, but again, the amount of work and that would be involved in that, we would need to do that kind of sort of like something full time really, and we just don't have the capacity to do it.
Nick, let me ask you the question that somebody's bound to ask then. Is if somebody else wanted to take this on as a project for themselves to do, let's say in the US, Canada, Germany, wherever, would you be willing to talk to them about perhaps lending the name Maker Central to them in a different country if they were going to do all the work and you didn't have to do anything about it? You just said, sure guys, go ahead and do that? Or is that something you kind of really want to hold the rights to?
No, we would obviously, if somebody was out there that had the money behind them to want to put it on in the States, that we could do an agreement that would allow them to do that. We wouldn't want any money for it, in the sense of for them to do it. So if they want to crack on with it in the States, then yeah, crack on. They can do it. That'd be brilliant.
You're going to want it to be a certain standard, I'm sure. But other than that, okay. I'm just curious because people have talked about it, and if somebody else wanted to take on the task of doing it, I didn't think that you'd mind, but I figured I should ask.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. I mean, to see it open up in the States would be fantastic. Yes, I mean, if someone wants to come forward and say, look, I'll do it again for 2020 in the US, then brilliant. Yeah, we can certainly talk about that, and we can give them access and stuff like that, and they can get going. Yeah.
No, it's all right. I already bagged the 2020 Island Maker Central.
Oh, did you, Steve? I'm sorry, I wasn't aware. I apologize.
This is Steve's back garden.
That'd be good. Yeah. Okay. I'll be there. I'll be there. Put my name
It's down the local pub.
Potatoes.
It's going to be Dorge on stage. All right, great.
It might be your first Maker Central that you get to go to and actually enjoy the show, Nick. Not Ireland, obviously. I mean the US.
Exactly that.
Oh, ouch.
Oh yeah, I just got that.
Wow. Anyway, Richard, if you want to kind of throw this out there and wrap things up, I think we've got about maybe 9 minutes left to go here with Nick today.
Yeah, I was literally just looking down to make sure we sort of covered the things that I wanted to ask. So unless there's anyone out in the chat who's got anything desperate they want to jump in with, or if there's anything else Nick wants to cover that you can remember last minute.
Jamie, you could put the link out for Make Central if you wouldn't mind.
Already done it, mate. Already done it loads of times.
Happy days.
And there's a link in the description too. This gets released on Wednesday, but there's a link down there today for the live version, and then Wednesday when this is re-released, there'll be a link to the Maker Central website there as well. So make sure you go out and get your tickets. Get your tickets early. You don't want to get into the point where they get sold out and you can't get in because the NEC police won't let you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I'll go and do it now again anyway. But there you
go.
But just while you're kind of flicking around and doing that, one thing I wanted to basically reiterate, because Nick's already covered it, about sharing the information around, because you might see something in your Facebook or on your Instagram, share it out, and one of your friends who's in a group, something to do with a different form of making, or knows somebody in a different kind of making who's part of some organization that then sees it and thinks, oh, that's something we want to get involved with, and you end up with another stand at the show, and that's going to help everyone at the show and make a better show, not just people through the door, but organizations as well.
Yeah, I mean, I want to try and encourage the smaller makers to come, and if they're making stuff at home or whatever, try to it would be great to get them there, more of the crafty people that do the crafts, the inventions, anything like that, because it's great to have obviously the big stuff there. We have got wood turners there and power tools there, and there's lots of other stands there that are going to be selling things, but we want more of those, so we've got some resin makers there, we've got some flower makers there, we've got some, I think there's some clothes makers there, I think, but there's all sorts of, so we want to try and mix it up as much as we can really, and try and get anything there. So if you're, if you make stuff at home or, whatever, really just see if we can kind of like, get you to the show somehow, that'd be great. So we want to try and cover the smaller ones.
For me personally, this year, it was all well and good seeing the Triton stand or the record stand or, the big companies. That's great, don't get me wrong. But what I really got from Maker Central as an event were those small little booths, the guys with the 3D printing pens and the guys with the marble stuff and the FIMO society people that were there, because you get ideas from them that you can then translate into your own making. And that then creates something that less people have seen. It becomes a more interesting topic that you're making, and it just snowballs from there.
That's what we want. We want those types of makers to come. So, I don't want people to think that, because we get questions like, oh, can we sell at the show? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't know if there was a show out there that you're not allowed to sell at, but people are sort of like unaware that they can sell stuff. Are we allowed to come? And I'm like, yeah. Everybody can come. It's not like, do you have to be a maker to come? No, of course not. Whatever. If you just want to come along, enjoy creativity and, and things like that, then yeah, come. There's no rules or anything like that, really. Just, just come along.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's why it's important for, you know, not just makers on when they see the adverts and things popping up over the next few months, not just the people that are makers, but families of makers to share it, because it is a family orientated thing.
Yeah, it's not about big makers either as well, because you know we got a lot of questions about that last year, like, oh, you know, I've only got, you know, 10,000 subscribers, can I come? I'm like, yeah, it's got nothing to do with subscribers or YouTube, or, you know, it's obviously because I'm on YouTube, it's based around that. There's a lot of YouTube makers coming, but you know, you don't have to be on YouTube, you don't have to be on Instagram, you don't have to be on Facebook, you know. I mean, you don't even have to make anything. You can still come, you know. So you know, it's really, there's no stipulation. You know, if you've got, you know, 5 subscribers, then brilliant. Let us know you're coming. We'll get you added to the website and we'll shout you out. You know, just as much as we would do someone that's got 1 million. You know, you know, that's what we kind of like. We, you know, a couple of questions like came through last year from somebody that said it was all about, you know, why were we allowing smaller makers come and stuff like that. This chat piped up with.
It's because it's not about status; it's about making and enjoying each other. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
My response to that would be, you know, so you've got five subscribers, so come along and meet all these people and tell them you're on YouTube and get them to subscribe to you, and you'll walk away with 500 or more. Exactly.
Happy days, yeah, happy days. Everyone's got to start somewhere. We want to try and encourage these people to make stuff and, you know, put YouTube videos out if they want to do that. Brilliant. You know what I mean? You know, I love doing it, and you know, I know loads of people want to do it, but they don't have the courage to do it, or they think they don't have the equipment or whatever. But this will help them. They'll be talking to people about how to do things, and there'll be stuff there that they can buy that will help them get on with doing stuff like that. So it's a really great show to come to do that, to get into making.
It is an inspiration.
Leona Fay in the chat actually came up with a good point, Nick, is that maybe in everybody's shout outs, and I think she says including yours as well, maybe to add in a tell your friends slogan too. Do you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
To not just aim at the makers, just tell your friends. You don't, you know, because your viewers don't necessarily make either. So, you know, to maybe just add that in as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Yeah, thanks,
Leona. Yeah, Leona Fay. Yeah,
Leona Fay. Happy days.
Wicked. That I think does pretty much wrap the show up. Nick, while you're on it, I appreciate that pretty much all you've been doing in your waking hours is organising Maker Central and putting out your own videos. But is there anyone you want to shout out or from YouTube other than Maker Central, obviously?
Oh yeah, I should have thought about this one, shouldn't I? Put on the spot. I've watched lots of people actually. Oh god, I don't know.
Well, we can come back to you. I mean, think about it, Nick. What about you, Jamie? Jamie's always got like 1 million. So, Jamie, I know you've got some shout outs. Hit it.
Yeah,
that's the rest of the show.
I've got a couple. So, my first one goes to DJ over at Socomo Woodwork. I'm not going to shout out any particular video, just his old channel in general. He's got a very unique way of editing, and his videos he just makes them very entertaining. Plus, cool. in his latest video, he was actually wearing one of Nick's t-shirts, so that was another reason for the shout out.
Oh, God.
My second shout out is kind of going away from the maker scene a little bit. I've been actually during my recovery going on Twitch and watching a bit of online gaming, and one of my friends has got one of these said streams, so I've been watching a bit of him. So if you want to go and check him out and fancy something a bit different, his Twitch handle is Magic Ice, and it's all one word.
Magic Ice. Okay, cool, awesome. Steve, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, there was a particularly good video I wanted to shout out. The Woogeneer. He put out a really cool video there in the last couple of days. It's the Boba Fett scroll saw art, and I believe it's Star Wars. I don't watch Star Wars, but he put a bit of humor into it, and the bit I like was at the end. He gets the lightsaber and he's swinging it around with the whole wong, and he grabs it and drops it on the couch, and then smoke starts appearing and all that kind of stuff. So there's some really cool effects, along with a really good scroll saw art make as well. So yeah, the Woodgeneer. What's his name, JP? Chris, is it Chris?
Can't think what his name.
Chris, anyway, the Woodgeneer, fantastic. Go and subscribe to him. He is very humorous. He's not been on very long on the YouTubes. He's about 300 subscribers, I think. So go over and send him some love.
Jamie's just smiling because Steve shouted out a guy who does scroll sawing.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of shout outs that I'd like to do today, but I'll try to limit it because I mean there were I don't know if you guys noticed, there were a lot of really cool build videos this week as people posted their Dirty Smith Zombie Apocalypse Challenge videos that they did for that, because I think there's a lot of people involved in that. So I want to give a hats off to all the ones that I've seen on that, and there have been many. But there was some guy out there who put out an awesome video, and I wanted to buy this product so bad, and I didn't get a chance to. And it was the Dragon Claw Yeti mug holder video. That was that Steve. Mr. Twidell, that was awesome. I love that project. And I honestly, when that went up for bid, I honestly wanted that, and I lost the bid. So anyway, if you haven't checked out Steve Twidell's video on that, check it out, because that was an awesome video and project, by the way.
Shucks.
All right, but that's it for you for the entire year. I'm never doing that again.
Thanks, Chris. Wahoo.
Richard, what about you? You got something?
Nothing from me this week. I've been away, so I haven't actually been watching any YouTube at all, pretty much since last week's show. And when I haven't been away, I've been up to my armpits in work, and I'm pretty stressed about it. So I'm not going to talk about that at all. All
right. Well, Nick, back to you again there, then, buddy. Do you have anything? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I've got two actually. I've got a YouTuber and I've got an Etsyr.
Okay.
The YouTube guy that I've watched quite a few times, which actually now is also going to be doing a demo for us at Maker Central. Go and check out this guy because he does some really, really cool engraving. It's Yuri Tuchman, I think. Tuchman, Tuchman. Yuri Tuchman. And he makes some. It's so cool watching him do what he does with his engraving. He engraves kind of like into brass and makes hammers and makes chisels and all sorts of things. But his engraving is absolutely awesome. And I watched him in quite a few videos to try and get some inspiration to do one of my projects, which turned out disastrous. But anyway, I asked him, I said, look, I really would love for you to come to Maker Central. Are you coming? He said, actually, I am coming. I said, well, great news. I said, well, would you want to do a demo on stage with doing what you're doing there? And he said, yeah, I'd love to. So he's bringing his own tools and stuff and bits and pieces. So go and check him out on YouTube. He's pretty cool. He's a good guy to watch.
That's cool.
And the other one is a really cool chap on Etsy that makes, and this is quite cool because everyone always asks me about this, where I get these little emblems from, and I put in the bottom of my work.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually get them from an engineering company. But however, I've just... this guy on Etsy is called Von Hanke, VonHake on Etsy, and he makes these burning irons, but he also makes these little kind of like discs that you can slot into your work. He's just making me some new ones, which I'm going to get on Monday, which I'll be showing on my channel, and I've got him to number them 1 to 100. So it says handmade by Nick Zammeti. And it's got my logo in the middle, and they're numbered 1 to 100. That is awesome. So I'll put that in every piece that I make going forward. But he's really good because he knocks them out really quickly. You can do burning irons and all sorts of stuff. And I've had a few things from him. I'd definitely worth going over there and checking him out because he can do your logo, and you can stamp it into stuff and all sorts of things. So yeah, Von Hanke. His name's Martin, but yeah, nice chap.
Von Hanke, awesome. Jamie, you had something else?
Yeah, it's something for the old Jamie's page.
Here we go.
And as I mentioned last week, there was a shirt campaign going for Anna B for someone.
Yes.
She was donating the money to a surprise recipient who still doesn't know about it at the moment. We're hoping to surprise said person tomorrow being Monday, so that's 2 days before this goes out. on officially on the Wednesday. Well, the campaign is now officially over. We ended up, I forget how many shirts we sold. I think it was 26 or 27. Or 27. Sorry, Steve. But we ended up raising about $205 in the end.
Awesome.
So so
well done.
thanks to everyone for the support. So Anna is very appreciative of that, as am I, and I'm sure the recipient will be too.
Fantastic community. I saw Anna's video on Facebook today regarding that, and yeah, I agree with you, Anna. That's awesome. Good job, people.
Yeah.
So presumably those T-shirts will be going out into the mail.
Yeah.
soon,
They've gone to print. So yeah, all good.
Awesome.
Wicked. I was about to ask if you have anything for Jamie's page, but you jumped in there before me, Jamie Page. So whatevs. I think does that wrap the show up? I haven't got anything on my list.
I think it does, Nick. When we get towards the end of February, beginning of March, then we should do this again, just to kind of update people on where the show is at. So if you're available, we'll do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I mean, I would encourage people to go and check out the website. There's loads of things on there. You can already see like kind of makers come in. You can already see what's kind of like happening and what to see and do. There's loads of things we've added, prize draw stuff, the map, so you can see all the people that are coming, like the exhibitors, and that grows every day. Every day we add somebody, whether it's a maker or something to do. So just keep checking the website. That'd be really cool. Obviously, we've got Colin First coming this year, which is really good. We're really excited to see Colin, big maker in the UK. He's going to be on stage as well, along with other makers as well. So, but if you're watching and you've asked about going on stage, I know Sean and Matt want to go on stage, and if they're still watching now, then yeah, please get in contact with me again, because we've managed to get you a slot on stage. So that's really cool. But
Sean was out in the chat not so long ago.
Yeah, I did see him on there, and I thought he might be there somewhere along the line. But yeah, it's been cool. Thanks for getting me, on. That's really great to spread more awareness about the show, which is brilliant. So thanks very much for your support as well, guys. Really, it's really appreciated.
Wicked. Well, thanks for coming along this evening, Nick. I'm really excited about next year, and I know Kat is as well. And I think we're bringing Mini Noodle as well with us, so there'll be 3 of us this year, not just the
two. Yeah, brilliant.
So that'll be
good. Don't forget a step.
Well, do you know what? I might talk about this in our after party, not after party, free for anyone Patreon, not Patreon, and everyone else as well, after the show. So yeah, for the live people.
Let's get to the after show. Let's go.
But yeah, so if you are still listening, then fantastic. If you're not, and there are 7 people that were but are not, so we'll say what we like about you, and you'll never know what we're going to say. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks. Yes. Nice. Thank you.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.